Well, for the first time since 2014, the Chiefs are 0-2. That was also the last time Kansas City missed the playoffs. A trend no one on this 2025 roster really has any intentions of doing. I will add that only 3 teams have won a Super Bowl after an 0-2 start. That includes their opponent, the New York Giants, back in 2007. So let's set the table for Sunday Night Football with our friends Douzable and Pete Prisco. Pete, I asked you on Sunday if the dynasty was dead for the Chiefs. You said no, expeditiously. The dynasty is not done. But there is certainly some work to do when you look at this team. It seems like a silly question, but how important is a get-right game for them on Sunday?
It's absolutely important. If they don't win this game, they have major problems, particularly in their own division where the Chargers are off to such a great start. And the winner of the Chargers-Broncos game would be really have 2 games up on them. So I think they have to win this game.
It's a must-win.
It's a must-win for the Chiefs. I mean, you can't go to New York and lose to Russell Wilson and that team. I mean, you just can't.
We're going to talk about your boy Russ in a minute.
And if they do, I think they could have major problems going forward. Now, having said all that, Steve Spagnuolo was the defensive coordinator on that Giants team that went to the Super Bowl. And his defense was fantastic last week. If they go into New York and play fantastic defense again, they're going to win the game no matter what they do on offense. So put it on him. Spags, it's on you. Because the offense right now is disjointed. Everything they do, the protection isn't great yet. No speed down the field. But having said all that, if Mr. Kelce catches the ball,
we wouldn't be talking about
right?
this. Mr. Swift,
address
him by his correct name.
Damn ball.
I mean, but Hurts would have still had an opportunity to go back and take the lead.
He would have had to go get a touchdown.
Yeah.
And could he have? Sure, he could have. But it's an entirely different game. He goes in there and catches that. So all the problems that they have, everything, they have Mahomes, they have Reed, they have Spags, and I think they're going to find a way to win this game.
Yeah, without a doubt, this is a must-win. And me and Pete talked about this yesterday. I think the biggest issue for the Chiefs is they don't know what their identity is. There's always been something that we can point to with the Chiefs and be like, all right, they do this better than everybody. They can throw the ball down the field better than them, right? Even when Tyreek Hill left, we got the #1 offense because Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, right? Then we were defensive-led. Their defense struggled in week 1. To Pete's point, they played significantly better. And from the onslaught, right, Spags was like, I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to bring pressure. And that really caused issues for the Philadelphia Eagles. We know this Giants offensive line has really struggled when it comes to pressure. So look for them to man up on the outside and bring pressure as well. The only issue I have with this Chiefs team is the offense. Like, again, you talk about them not having speed. Tyquan Thornton has been their speed guy. And Patrick Mahomes missed him a few times. He also missed some throws to Noah Gray. So I know people were saying, well, they have lack of weaponry right now. But the quarterback has missed some throws as well, too, which we're not accustomed to seeing him do as well. So, again, to Pete's point, defensive-led is going to have to win this game for them. But I have real concerns about this offense.
They need to get the right tackle off the field and put Jalen Moore over there and let him.
Which is weird because they paid Jalen Moore, $16 million a year. And I thought for sure that was to move Jawan Taylor as the swing guy.
Well, they thought Moore was going to be the left tackle. Then they drafted Simmons. And then Simmons is the left tackle. So and Moore worked at right tackle
during preseason. Yeah.
Look, let's be real. The interior of the offensive line pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I mean, so you should be able to run the ball. They don't have a dynamic running back. Pacheco hasn't been the same since he got hurt. Hunt, look, he runs hard. He's the hardest running guy in the history of the world to get 5 yards. You ever see? I mean, it looks like he's going to get 15. He ends up with 5 because that's what he is. He's one of those guys. He turns 15-yard runs into 5-yard runs. He turns 1-yard runs into 5-yard runs.
Yeah.
He's tough physical runner, but they have no explosiveness on that team.
To that point, though, I will add that it is Patrick Mahomes that is leading this team in rushing. So to your point, they don't have a running back, and Patrick Mahomes may be missing some of those passes. Do you think maybe some of that is because he's having to shoulder some of the responsibility of the lack of offense that he's getting?
I mean, that could be it, but again, I think he's just missing throws as well. And sometimes it's frustrating for a quarterback when things aren't going right. You start to press a little bit. I think there's a little bit of that as well as him pressing to make sure he can throw the ball down the field. But to your point, Haley, like, your quarterback can't be your leading rusher.
Unless you're Jalen Hurts, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Literally, but even with Saquon, that usually rarely happens. Like, literally, their best plays, Pete, like the last 2 weeks, have been scrambles by Patrick Mahomes, which, again, isn't sustainable in the NFL. You have to have some semblance of a run game. And you're right. Since Pacheco had the knee injury, he hasn't been the same guy, right? Kareem Hunt comes in. He does run extremely hard. They give it to him on 4th down. He's going to pick up the 1st down because he runs extremely hard. But even though Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL, he still needs help. Like, you have to take some of the burden off him and be able to run the ball. Like, that offensive line is heavily invested with draft capital and money. Like, you guys have to be able to create holes and open up holes for the running backs to run.
In fairness to them, as an offense, they played Jesse Minter's defense, which is one of the best in the league with the Chargers. And they played Vic Fangio, who, yeah, there's some different change over there, but they're going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. So now they play the Giants. We'll see how they respond against the defense. It's good, but it has potential to be good up front, but they're not in that class.
Yeah.
Putting a bow on that, no team has won the Super Bowl after starting the season 0-3, so they would be the first team to do that if they are able to get that far, but we're looking way too far ahead. You mentioned the defense. We saw Chris Jones get a little testy there in the late stages of that game against Philadelphia. Different quarterback, though, in Russell Wilson. I mean, he has his 5th game of 450-plus yards. He looks like a superhero against my Dallas Cowboys. Now that you've slept on the performance, Pete, when it comes to Russell, because I know you have a lot of really positive things to say about him as a quarterback. I mean, did he change your mind a little bit here now that you've slept? Or I guess what can he do on Sunday to maybe make this as competitive as what we saw over the weekend?
That was vintage Russell Wilson from when he had those big days back in the day. He got outside the pocket, he made some throws down the field, had one-on-one opportunities, had busted coverages where he hit him down the field. He's a good deep ball thrower. That's what he does. That's why they call him the moon ball thrower, right? But when the game was on the line, in that situation where he had to go get points, what did he do? He threw one backwards, and then he threw one into Donovan Wilson's hands on a terrible play. So, yeah. Did he change my mind on him? No. Is he a good quarterback? No. Is Jaxson Dart going to play at some point this season? Absolutely. Should he play at some point this season? Quicker the better. And I think Russell Wilson is a guy who has those moments where he can make the deep throws down the field. He'll hit those shots, but he's not consistently good enough anymore.
Yeah, to your point, Jaxson Dart, they have sprinkled him in the offense here and there. I believe he had 2 plays on Sunday. But the thing that I was impressed about Russell Wilson, and you talked about it, he is one of the better moon ball throwers in the NFL, was that he threw in timing, which you rarely see with Russ because he likes to play off script. He likes to hold the ball to be able to take those shots down the field.
Wide open, so he
but that's what happens too when your secondary gives up a lot of explosive plays. They start playing on their heels, and then you have to take the underneath stuff. So from growth from Russ when it comes to Brian Daboll's scheme, I love that I saw that from him. Now, can he be consistent with it? Can he put it 2 weeks in a row versus a totally different defense? We saw what the Chiefs did to that Eagles team, which, again, a lot of people think they're going back to the Super Bowl. They mitigated a lot of stuff of what they like to do on the Eagles side of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see, can Russ put it back-to-back and be consistent this week?
Well, I tell you what, unless Donovan Wilson and that group is playing.
Stop talking bad about my boy Dono.
He was awful the other day.
I will say this: when Spags decided to go blitz and go man coverage on the outside, Jalen Hurts did have some success. He found A.J. Brown on the slant, and he also found Devontae Smith down the field. So if they decide to do that, Malik Neighbors, Trent McDuffie, that's going to be a great matchup to watch.
Yeah. If I'm playing Russell Wilson, I'm playing zone. I'm keeping everything in front of me and make him be patient getting down the field.
Make him make some mistakes. Something you mentioned, though, is the future of this team, and that is Jaxson Dart. As promised, we've seen him in a couple of those special packages.
Correct. Those aren't playing quarterback.
That's what I was going to say. I guess what's the benefit then of him getting in on those special packages? Is just to get his feet wet?
I think that's what it is.
Let him see what it's like in an NFL, in a real NFL game, not in a preseason game. Whatever he does, takes a snap, gets in the huddle, calls the play, gets the play from the sidelines. They're preparing him for when he takes over. That's exactly what it's an audition for when he takes over. You see, he didn't do anything when he was in there.
I was going to say, what have you thought of the audition?
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to get in a rhythm when you're in for one play and they take you out. It's hard to really get in a rhythm as far as getting the call from the coordinator, relaying it to your team, getting everybody lined up, and then just building up a lather when it comes to knowing where to go with the football. If you're in for one play, it's harder for you to get that feel on what the defense is doing because you're in one play, then you're out for like 30 plays, and you're back in. So to Pete's point, I think they just wanted him to see the operation, just to get him ready, get his feet wet for when he does take over.
And I guarantee you, they're asking every single guy on that offense, how was he in the huddle? Was he a mealy mouth, or was he in there? This is my damn huddle. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. And shut your mouth. Let's go.
Is that how you were in the huddle?
That's how exactly. If I was a starting quarterback in the NFL, it's my huddle. Shut your mouth. Let's go.
Okay, get me.
I love it. Fire it up,
Let's go.
Fire up.
Real quick, because we got to get a game pick from you guys. I'm looking at the Giants' schedule. Obviously, they play the Chiefs, and then they have the Chargers, Saints, Eagles, Broncos. Do we see Jaxson Dart make an appearance at any point in those games specifically?
Everybody's been saying, quote unquote, the soft landing spot is week 5 for the Saints, right? You play the Chiefs this week, you got the Chargers next week. If the Giants were to start off 0-4, maybe they do lean on the young quarterback just to see what they have in the future.
Let me ask you this. If Russell Wilson's 9 of 22 in the third quarter and they're still in the game, do they look to him?
I don't think so. I think if it's a close game, they won't. If it's a blowout, then I think Jaxson Dart goes in.
Yeah, those don't count, though. See,
You want to see him in a real
I
scenario.
do. Yeah. I don't think you can count when a guy goes in a blowout.
But my thing is, if they put him in there, they're probably going to stay with him for the rest of the season.
Then he becomes a starting quarterback.
Correct.
Yeah, we did see this with Drake May last year.
The better, because you have to find out what he is, and the more he plays, the quicker you find out what he is.
All right, let's get a game pick. Chiefs favored in this one, no surprise there. I will mention, though, the Giants are 7-0 all-time against the Chiefs at home, specifically. So that being said, which way are we going, Lee?
But Mahomes has never played the Giants in MetLife.
Yes,
so I'm rolling with the
caveat.
Chiefs. I know I've been saying there's a lot of concern when it comes to this offense, but to Pete's point, Steve Spagnuolo and his defense seem like they've figured things out last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I lean on that defense to carry them through this game. 5.5 is a high number, but I think the Chiefs get it done.
I'm going to take the Giants and the points because I just don't like what I've seen from the offense.
Yeah.
Kansas City will win the game. Spags will have his defense playing well, but I think the Giants' defense is going to play well. The front will play well in this game.
They haven't played up to their talent
We thought
yet.
they'd be all over the place,
no question.
and
It
they're
hasn't
going to
been
get
that.
it going.
Yeah.
I think they might get it going here. So it's a lower scoring game, and I'm going to take the Giants and the points.
The only meeting between Patrick Mahomes at MetLife, the only meeting against Mahomes, I should say, they lost 20-17, Week 8, 2021 Monday Night Football.
That was an arrowhead, yeah.
So we will see how it goes. I don't know who I want to win this game. I think the Chiefs maybe, but also we'll just have to wait and see. Pete Ligier, always good.
If they don't win, we'll get
for
the
you.
shovel out.
Yeah.
For who?
For the Chiefs.
Both teams. Whoever loses this game
Pack
is
them
tough.
up, they're done.
0-3, ain't one of those Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Look who it is, Pete.
Look at
me,
Pete.
David.
Rand?
We're still missing
Where's
Rand Carthen. I promise we're going to get him on this graphic eventually, but hang out with us every Sunday, 8:30 Eastern on HQ as we take you through the biggest headlines on Sundays.